I have been using Nikon Z9 for over a year now, and it is a fantastic camera, full of features and functions. It's a true hybrid camera that delivers stellar image quality and speed on the photography side and has exceptional video functionalities, codecs, and resolutions on the video side. So thank you, Nikon. However, there are a few features that I did not know before buying this camera. But frankly, most of us did not know either. You see, camera manufacturers don't always tell you about all of the features of the camera, and not only until you own the camera, you get to discover what the camera actually is capable of and what actually camera is not able to do. Before I get into what those things are, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up, ring the bell, do all those good things. That will be much appreciated, folks. Okay, first thing. So I assumed that because this camera has these futuristic video capabilities and based on its video functionalities such as 8K 60 FPS, ProRes RAW, and RAW 4K 60 and 120 FPS, I assumed that this camera would record video on a second card slot simultaneously just as a backup. Well, comes to find out that is not the case with Nikon Z9, unfortunately. Many professionals who focus on video work are looking for cameras that have not only great video features but can also record video to both card slots at the same time in case one card fails. There are many cameras that do that at much lower price, such as Sony FX3, Sony FX30, Panasonic GH6, that record video to both cards at the same time, basically creating a backup. Now, I recognize that Nikon Z9 has 2 CF Express card slots, and I personally have not heard from anyone, unless I've been living under a rock, that CF Express cards frequently fail. Now, by the way, if you're one of those people who had the problem with CF Express cards in the past and you lost your footage, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Now, there's certainly a way around it, and you can record video onto a monitor/recorder while recording onto a CF Express cards, such as Atomos Ninja V, but it's not always practical or desirable from the camera operator standpoint. So not having dual recording to both cards at the same time is a little tiny small problem. All right, thing number 2, what I wish I knew before I purchased this camera. If we could not record onto the second card slot simultaneously, I would hope that Nikon Z9 was designed to record onto an external SSD drive, solid state drive, just like Pocket Cinema cameras 4K and 6K do. So the reason why this would be amazing, if you have not seen my video where I compared video file sizes of different frame rates and resolutions, which I will link it in the upper left corner here for you to watch next, the file size of the ProRes RAW and NRAW codecs are astronomical, just even for 1 minute of recording. So CF Express cards are still fairly expensive for even 256 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes, but SSD external drives are priced reasonably well for 1 terabyte or even a 2 terabyte. So if we could do that, this would allow us to use these awesome Nikon Z9 functionalities more often. So let me know in the comments below if you would love to have these functionalities in the Z8 camera, perhaps, and perhaps we can see this one maybe as a firmware update to a Z9. But if Nikon is listening, can we possibly please have the external capabilities to SSD? That would be awesome. Okay, and the third thing I wish I knew before purchasing the Z9 was Nikon Z9 no longer worked for me with my previous flash triggers. I was so thrown off, and this was very frustrating because now I had to invest into a new set of flashes and triggers that would be compatible with my Z9. I used to use these Pocket Wizards TT5 and Pocket Wizard TT1 mini TT1 units, and these were awesome for my flashes as well as for my strobes, and they worked very, very, very well for me. Now I transitioned from Nikon DSLR to Nikon mirrorless Z9. I also use Z6 too, and I just assumed that these would work just fine. If I was switching camera systems from, let's say, Nikon to Sony or Canon, I could understand and see why my Nikon triggers would no longer be compatible. But going from Nikon DSLR to Nikon mirrorless, I was disappointed that it did not work. Now, I would love if you could let me know in the comments below what triggers you use for your Nikon mirrorless cameras, whether it's a Z5, Z6, Z9, and how those work for you. Are you having any issues with your triggers? Do you have any recommendations, tips or tricks? And I would love to hear from you on this topic. So these are 3 things I wish I knew before purchasing this awesome, powerful Z9. So just so you know, while I wish all those things would work from the start for me, by no means those 3 things I mentioned diminish the value and my love for this Nikon Z9 camera. The Z9, its autofocus, photo and video functions, type of photography that this camera can be used for, such as studio work, weddings, sports, portraits, wildlife, is really endless. This camera truly excels in every category, and I hope you are considering purchasing one, or perhaps maybe waiting until the Z8 comes out with similar features, but hopefully at a lower price. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this video educational and entertaining. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.